Well, here we are again. Hi everyone, it's Billy back again for another video, and probably a shock to all of you. This is a sequel to the SASUKE Iceberg Explained, which was a blast to work on back in February. Over the period of time between me making that video and the time of script writing this, I thought of a lot of things I missed out on the original Iceberg. So here I am today. This iceberg here is filled with detail and way more content within, with more mysteries to discuss. If you see some points that I'm not explaining, that's because I've already done that in the previous iceberg video. So if you want to check those out, there will be a card on the top right hand corner of the screen, so check out that video. Now the special thing about this video is that it was a collaborative iceberg. This iceberg was actually made by Banzu Queen. If you want to check her out, you can find her on the SASUKE Nerds Discord server and on Twitch. Both links will be in the description. Join the SASUKE Nerds Discord server, please. It's so cool. I would also like to mention that this video is going to be 2 parts, because if I squished everything together to one huge video, it would be like an hour long and I would burn myself out way too much. As if I haven't done that already. So without further ado, let's dive into the abyss of Sasuke's mysteries once again. Kunoichi. This is basically the Women of Ninja Warrior version of Sasuke. Hell, that's even the G4 name of the show, broadcasted for the dub in other countries. For the show's course, it is much easier than Sasuke's for the women to complete. As for the show's competitors, notable stars include Ayako Miyake, who achieved total victory 3 times consecutively from Kunoichi 4 to 6. Rai Kamiya, who is my personal favourite female competitor, made it to the final stage twice in Kunoichi 5 and 8, and with her achieving total victory in 8. And Yuko Mizuno, who was a finalist in tournaments 2 and 3, and was less than a second away from Kansenseiya in 3. Definitely a great show. Shingo's perfect attendance. This is just based off the fact that my favourite Sasuke competitor has 100% attendance for all tournaments. This means he has competed from Sasuke 1 to 38, having varying results every time, whether it's making it to the final stage in Sasuke 7, or failing the rolling hill in Sasuke 31. Morimoto A&W Stage 3 clear. In 2014, the first USA vs. the World was held in American Ninja Warrior back in 2014. Well, only if you count, like, USA vs. Japan back in A&W 5 as, like, the first international... You know. Anyway, when Yusuke Morimoto cleared Stage 3 for the first time, he did it in 2 circumstances. It was Yusuke's first time clearing Stage 3, and it was also the first time anyone conquered the American 3rd stage on their home turf. Kinda cool to think that the first clear was from a foreigner. Yamada crying. Throughout his history on the show, Mr. Sasuke, Katsumi Yamada, has had a history of completely bawling on the set of the show. He cries when he fails, he cries when his Black Tigers fail, he cries when they clear, and he cries when he makes history in a negative way. Yamada's always been like this, even in front of his parents. At 36 years old. Jeez. Speaking of which, Yamada's family. Throughout the early periods of Sasuke, Yamada's family have made their appearances on the sidelines. His parents were first shown in Sasuke 4, and were shown when he failed the cliffhanger. His ex-wife and son were first on the show in Sasuke 7, when he timed out on stage 1. I don't know if this is true, but he might have spent all of his wife's savings on his homemade course, which he still has today. He was later divorced, and Sasuke is still his life's work. Japanese American Ninja Warrior. Ultimate bruh moment! This is most likely what American fans call Sasuke when they first find it out. Just imagine, someone's been watching American Ninja Warrior for a while and sees Sasuke for the first time. They'd be like, oh my god, is this Japanese American Ninja Warrior? It's so stupid! But it's also incredibly funny at the same time. 25 Reasons. This was a G4 and Challenge TV special to celebrate the 25th tournament, dubbed 25 Reasons to Worship Ninja Warrior. The G4 version was hosted by Angie Greenup, and the Challenge version was hosted by God himself, Jim Null. Sorry about that. The special itself was basically just a top 25 on great things about the show, which was appropriate. Kunoichi 9 to 11. This is the modern reboot of Kunoichi, when they tried to make it good again. But they didn't, because that's how most reboots go. It was stationed inside a building, kinda like Ninja Warrior UK, and only 50 people were competing, unlike the traditional 100. In Kunoichi 9, the last person standing was Izumi Hikari, who timed out on the final rope climb. In Kunoichi 10, Hikari was the last woman standing again, but failing the pipe slider at the end of the black stage. And in Kunoichi 11, Okabe Sakiko had the best result, failing the final stage and timing up there. Overall, I would like to see more of these tournaments, but I'm not holding my breath for it. Akiyama's vision. The first Sasuke champion, Kazuhiko Akiyama, never had it easy. It was actually really hard for him to see anything as his sight was impaired. He suffered from an eye disease named degenerative retinosis, which negatively impacted his vision. This means whenever he runs the course in dark scenes, he doesn't perform at his best. Kane was a Power Ranger. This point is pretty straightforward, but still surprised me a lot. Basically, Kane Kasugi was a Power Ranger, in the picture seen here. G4 subtitles. In the English dub of Sasuke in the US, some of the subtitles for the show are just plain stupid. The one I always think about is this one here. In Sasuke 19, in Shunsuke Nagasaki's run, there was something just stupid. To quote it correctly, "Will Nagasaki be the first All-Star to clear?" Shunsuke is not an all-star! Seriously, I honestly think they didn't know the general stars of the show. Thank God the UK has a narrator, even if some people might hate it. Stage 2 Speed Stage. This is based off the fact that the original Stage 2 was supposed to be fast. However, it's here because sometimes Stage 2 doesn't require that much speed. For example, in Sasuke 8, the challengers had 100 seconds to beat Stage 2 with Chain Reaction and Spider Walk Kai, which was way too much time. So of course in Sasuke 9 they cut off 20 seconds, which was the right decision. However, another oddity was in Sasuke 37. With the rolling log being skipped, the competitors had way too much time to beat the stage. Therefore, everyone cleared apart from Yusuke Suzuki and Koji Saikawa. Motors. In modern Sasuke, a lot of obstacles are motorized, i.e. the cliffhanger dimension. With this in mind, there was a rumor that the cliffhanger dimension was not moving because the motor wasn't working, but it was just for the fact they wanted a live final stage. And that's how you get the lowest ratings of all time! Speaking of motors, it's worth noting that Daisuke Matsuda's homemade fishbone has a motor, which must have cost over at least 151,000 yen on making it, which roughly estimates to $1,000 here in the UK. Hiyaki's numbers. Masashi Hiyaki has a weird history with numbers throughout his time competing. He mostly gets, well, any number he can. It could sometimes go from 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all these numbers are just sometimes just absurd. In Sasuke 25, he got 92, which is fine because he did really well in the trials. Then he gets 35 in Sasuke 30. Just kind of random, but Hiyaki doesn't like high numbers because he doesn't enjoy pressure, which is just fine. Wild West Stunt Show. In Sasuke 9, performer Kikuchi Hideo failed the jump hang, but there was more to it. He was part of the Wild West Stunt Show. The Wild West Stunt Show, okay, I'll stop, was and still is a meme within the community. Get ready to be easily annoyed. Sasuke 13 trials. These are probably the most common and most well-known trials that Sasuke has ever had. Therefore, it's much easier to gather information about it. Three notable things were Toshihiro Takeda getting the fastest time, Shingo failing the wall but for the only time in his career, and Nagano failing the Tarzan rope but clearing it in another run. Yamada's Sasuke 12 reruns. After Katsumi Yamada's famous DQ in Sasuke 12 for not removing his gloves on the spider walk, he was given 2 extra reruns for the following reasons. After Yamada was DQ'd, he claimed that he didn't know about the glove rule and was given an extra rerun. The second one was very good for Yamada, only missing the buzzer by less than a second. However, he claimed that there was a mechanical error on the buzzer that didn't let him press it. With this occurring, he was given yet another try. This time his luck just ran out on him and fell off the brick climb like a noob, injuring his foot and timing out on the spider walk. But in typical Yamada style, he finished the course after his time ran out. But at the end of the course, this happened. Kinniku Banzuke. Not gonna lie, this video is probably possible because of Banzuke. It was essentially the parent show of Sasuke with a few well-known events, Quick Muscle and the Kangaroo. Sasuke 30 DVD. To celebrate the 30th tournament, the first instance of a publicly released uncut full tournament was released on DVD form. Currently, at the time of recording this, one of the original discs from 2014 is selling on eBay for around 90,000 yen, or £228 in UK, and $177 in US. You can find clips or the full thing online, but it is extremely rare. Ken. The Taiwanese dub of the show had actor Ken Kasugi sing as pronounced Ken. This is nothing major, it's just to show you how they say Kane in Japanese. Sasuke 33 Stage 3. In Sasuke 33, only 5 people made it to Stage 3, but it is believed to be virtually impossible, and I'm not even over-exaggerating. You had the Drum Hopper Kai, Flying Bar, Sidewinder R-Kai, Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, Vertical Limit Try, and Pipe Slider. Now some of you may be thinking, well, Billy Vids, if Yusuke can beat Sasuke 35 Stage 3, he can obviously beat 33's course, right? Well, did I mention the fact that there are not any breaks between the start of the cliffhanger dimension and finishing the course? Yeah, that's right. This means you have to go from the cliffhanger straight into vertical limit, then straight into the pipe slider with no rest. However, if there was somehow a clear, it would have to be from either present Yusuke, Yuji in his prime, or Tada with enough practice. Ragivaru Rolling Hill. In Sasuke 30-on, Tahitian dance teacher Ragivaru Anastase had some controversy on the rolling hill. He jumped off the top of the obstacle, which is not allowed, but due to the fact there was a miscommunication between him and the producers, this was ignored and he cleared with 35.68 seconds left, the fastest time of that tournament and the 4th fastest time in history. SoftBank. This is basically just the sponsor of Sasuke 36. It's a meme in the community because of the constant ads in Stage 3 and the repetitive words in them. Taped shoes. During Sasuke 9 Stage 2, Katsumi Yamada tried to play sneakily and actually double taping his shoes onto the spider walk, which didn't work well. Extreme foreshadowing! He spent about 35 seconds retaping his shoes and using spray on his hands, therefore he timed out on the second wall of the wall lift. Kuroi Ovi Ban? I hope I'm saying that right. Kuro Ovi was a 100+ episode spiritual sequel to Sasuke that producer Uchiho Higuchi made in 2017. It had people like Isaac Caldeira and a few other quote-unquote notable names. However, specifically Ragivaru and Kongu disappeared from the show, and it left to this persuasive rumor that they were banned / forced retirement because TBS hates Higuchi. This is far from true though. It was most likely that Kong's retirement was legit when Ragivaru had other stuff going on in his life. Muscle Park. Muscle Park was essentially a training ground for aspiring athletes to train on. This is actually how Yuji Arashihara got his start as a ninja, and it would include all major obstacles such as the cliffhanger and the salmon ladder, to name just a few. Kaitaro Yamamoto. This, unique competitor is a member of the Unlimited Cliffers, a group known for their upper body strength. This group actually includes Yuji Arashihara and Ryo Mitachi. This competitor is on the iceberg because he's infamous for not making it to Stage 3, as he has never made it past Stage 2 as of Sasuke 38. He's failed the Jumping Spider, Backstream, Spider Drop, Rolling Log and Wall Lift, all of which are non-Stage 3 obstacles. As time goes on, it's more likely that we'll never get to see him attempt Stage 3. It's a shame too, because I've seen his rock climbing skills and he is really strong, so if he gets to Stage 3, that would definitely be a sight to see. David Campbell's Kanzen. In Sasuke Vietnam 2, there were actually 12 competitors attempting the final stage that day. David Campbell was the first person to complete the Vietnamese course, and it left a legacy for foreigners to go to Sasuke more. However, the crazy thing is that David wasn't the only person to achieve total victory then. The 2 other competitors who completed the tower were 34-year-old Nguyen Phuoc Huynh and 25-year-old Lee Van Tuck. Hope I'm saying those names right. Okay, before I get cancelled, this comes from Sasuke 37's Rene Castle cursing in Stage 3 after Hiyaki's fail. If you want to skip this part, you can go to this timestamp in the video. Anyway, here's the sound clip.
Ah, shit.
Hey Billy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. I'm just making a ninja video right now. Wanna be in it?
Not really, no. I'm good. I don't really make Ninja Warrior videos anymore, Billy, so...
What if I tell people to sub to TSN?
Not really, man. I really don't care about TSN anymore, so...
How about I give you $10 instead?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Widescreen. Starting in the Shin Sasuke era, TV was getting more advanced, and therefore Monster 9 had to condensate on this. So basically, people couldn't keep watching 4x3. So starting with Sasuke 18, widescreen broadcasts made their way to Japan. But however, still. A lot of viewers still had to watch on non-white TVs at the time, but at least until Sasuke 26, when they strictly moved over to widescreen. So Navi. Sasuke Navis are now always common and are essentially the pre-shows before the actual tournaments. The first Navi was from Sasuke 6, and sadly we don't really know what this is about because it's extremely hard to find, so even the people who literally can find everything still can't really find it, so that explains for itself. But they became more common with Sasuke 17. The Man Who Lived for Sasuke, Navi hit the scene. It was amazing and we highly recommend it. And yeah, Navis are now not really that rare like they were in the beginning, but as we said, Sasuke 6 was the first one and it was the rare one, so that's why this belongs to the bottom of the iceberg. Nagano's self-DQ. Well, most of you probably know, but in Sasuke 18 Stage 3, Nagano was on the Gaini Pig on the new Shin cliffhanger. As he was about to clear, his left hand was hanging under the support of the ledge. And of course, being the nice man he is, Nagano admitted he basically disqualified himself, and the Shin cliffhanger wasn't completed that day. So, I mean, yeah, you probably watched that and you know what happened, but it was actually a self-DQ. Brick Climb. Now, here's a fact that we didn't even know about. In fact, there will be a counter on how many there are. It will pop in and out as the video progresses. Anyway, the brick climb is basically, it's here because it's actually not classified as an obstacle. It's more of a pathway between the chain reaction and spider walk Kai. While Sasuke didn't consider it as an individual obstacle, the brick climb was considered an obstacle on the G4 broadcast. But as all of you know, G4 is really accurate. So yeah, we can't really take that for granted as it was not really considered an obstacle. Asakusuma Retirement. We don't know exactly why he retired. If we had to take a guess, however, it would probably be due to his injury, or he was taking care of his family. He's still one of the really more notable competitors in Sasuke Rising era, and it's kind of sad to see him gone. So he was a great competitor, but his retirement still doesn't have really much reasoning behind it. Is he ever going to return? We don't know. We've seen shotgun returns, so we can never rule anything out. Sasuke X. Well, in the PS2 Sasuke, if you count, then you unlocked Sasuke X Stage 1. It was basically a jungle temple run. Stage 2 factory, Stage 3 the upper body stuff, he's hanging on the bottom of a blimp, and final stages between the engines on the space shuttle. So, yeah. Yamada Sasuke ban. Now, of course, this could literally be loads of reasons because, I mean, it's Yamada after all, so... it can be rule-breaking arguments, it can be everything really, but it's kind of hilarious if you think about it. There's no really much known about it. He was all cut from Sasuke 30 as well. As you guys know, there was basically a DVD for Sasuke 30. I think some people actually have like the full DVD. It's basically like something like Paravi version. You guys know Paravi, full tournament, full, no all cuts, no cuts, basically just full tournament. And as we all know, Yamada was even cut from there when you see all the tournaments, so if we had to take a guess, not really confirmed, there would probably be possibly an argument maybe with Inui or something that happened, but we don't know. But as we saw, he returned on the anniversary tournament and returned the last Sasuke, so Yeah, is he gonna stay retired? We probably don't know. Viking. This is very similar spin-off to Sasuke that started in 2005, before most people in Sasuke community were born. Yeah, competitors must complete a 4-stage obstacle, and it basically course, and it's still a time limit, so yeah, really similar to Sasuke. Competitors must first conquer the pirate team first marine stage, and actually, probably all of you know, it's basically like it's a really nice course, really unique as well, and if you guys like Ninja Warrior, you probably know for Viking, but in case you don't know, you should really watch it because it's really fun. It has some Sasuke competitors as well, some new competitors you guys can enjoy, and of course it's really great, and basically for you guys who watch Viking, you will agree that final stage is really the best thing about the show. Basically, the only person to attempt that towers was Makoto Nagano, so yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys know who that is. And that run is on YouTube, so I assume that if you didn't watch the whole tournament, you probably did watch that run. So yeah, he had 100 seconds to start from one tower to another, and then a 23-meter horizontal rope, only a meter longer than the final stage he attempted from Sasuke 11 to 13, in only 40 seconds. So yeah, he made it to the vertical 10-meter rope, however, it's easy to see that he was out of stamina and timed out. So yeah, it was really sad because if you guys see, it was really cool show. It has of course really great, and you can see the final stage run. It was like so close, so far, the best definition of that. But when you have no stamina, it's really hard. But Nagano, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in the sport. So yeah, you guys know it has to be really hard, of course. Omori, Mr. Sasuke. Well, this is, of course, interesting topic because, let's be honest, if the first thing you think about when you hear Mr. Sasuke, it's Katsumi Yamada. So, yeah, what about Akira Omori now, you're probably wondering? Well, back from Sasuke 1 to 3, Akira Omori, aka the monkey, made it to the final stage 3 times in a row, which was, a really great result, let's be honest. But of course, it was earlier Sasuke, so yeah, not much to, it wasn't that hard, but basically, it was a conspiracy that Omori was the OG Mr. Sasuke. It wouldn't be the wrong to say he was, but Yamada is the true Mr. Sasuke in everyone's opinion. I think it's still, it's not about being the best, but the dedication that he shows, of course, not really the most liked guy out there, but still the dedication and the passion he showed for Sasuke is unreal, and I think he's still a great guy, so I think you guys, I wouldn't say he's overhated, because, he's really one of the more famous people in Japan as well, so yeah, I think maybe he gets more hate than he should, but I think overall a good guy with much passion, much love for Sasuke, and probably one of the biggest Sasuke fans ever. Ryo's Vietnam final. Well, this is a saying that Ryo Matachi attempted the final stage in Vietnam. It was part of a ceremony to wave to the flag at the top, and apparently he cleared in 30.7 seconds, which is a really fun thing. We don't know much about it, but yeah, that's just at the bottom of the iceberg. Fish murderer. Not much to say here apart from that this was an April Fool's joke from the worst YouTube channel ever. We're not gonna say the name, we're not gonna promote the channel.
Subscribe to the SASUKE Nerds.
Bro.
Well, that's all for this video, but please stay tuned for part 2 of the extra iceberg episode coming very, very soon. Please be sure to just check the subscribe button, as only 49% of you have done so. Please do click the button, it takes like 3 seconds and it really does help me out a lot. And again, memes aside, huge shout out to the Sasuke nerds for helping with this video. So also subscribe to them and join their Discord server if you want to talk more about Sasuke and other shows of that matter. And don't worry, TSM will still be in the next part of the iceberg video. Akko, wanna say anything?
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Check Billy's video, part 2 will be soon. I'll see you later.